Okay, wonderful to see all of you folks from whatever time zone you. Oh, there's Claire Zoo. Great, beautiful. um,
Jeff.
Someone just gave me a quote from Kabir. The breath that doesn't repeat God's name is a wasted breath. That's Kabir. He told it like it was. Too bad we can't get Ferris Day to read Hafiz, but we we have Mahu is going to be on. So, uh, and there may not be time unless it's at the end. So anyway, for a couple of years now, maybe three, I have a hard time keeping track of time. Most of us have not been able to go to Meherazad or Meherabad because of the pandemic. But one from our family recently had the blessed good fortune to make it past those Maya's grim customs officials and got into India for her pilgrimage to Baba's Meherazad and Meherabad. And that is Mahoo Shahriari. I hope I pronounced that right. Shahriari. She has been for decades, part of the LA Baba group, where she spent so much time with Adele Wolkin. Adele Wolkin and Filis Frederick were the ones who started that group in Southern California, and they were perfect people for all the young people that drifted in there to that group. And Mahu is over the years has been the president of that group, bookwala program and finance director, and a lot of different roles. Because when you get into the Baba world, you wind up doing a little bit of everything. Anyway, and she's also been a loving host there. So she's going to share her stories and photographs she's taken of her recent trip to India so that we can enjoy being there, at least in spirit. And hopefully, if there's time, Mahu will share her story of coming to Baba, which started, she came from Iran and eventually made it to this country. So, anyway, I'm going to turn it over to her, and I believe that uh, Jacima has been able to help put this together. Okay, so Mahu,
Yes. Good
go right
evening.
ahead.
Yes. Good evening to everyone. We are just one big Zoom Baba family. I know most of people here, and so there's no introduction needed to who am I. But thank you, Jeff, for introducing me, and I'm happy to be here tonight. Before I start, I like to mention something that where I am now, Baba's. We had 2 days of full-blown seminar of creation and its causes with Ward Parks. And he has almost spent 26 years of collecting all this material, and his gift is to be able to bring all of this together and now work on this most incredible lectures that Meher Baba gave, 34 lectures to a very young kids. They would under, how would they even grasp 12 to 14? And why do I say that? Is it's out of context to talk about that, but the reason I say that is because I find out yesterday, that actually samadhi that we see now, and I'll be talking about it, it started from the crypt cabin that Meher Baba had the early mandalis and devotees to build And he had many seclusions there, staying there and working, doing his universal work from 1926 and on. Particularly, he gave many of his lectures to this young boy of Meher Ashram first, and then it became Prem Ashram. From that cabin, some of it were delivered. There's a picture of it from, maybe some of us have seen it. I don't have it prepared. This was a pure surprise for me. Baba was given it from the window of this crypt cabin, so they could only see his face. They're very, very precious, very precious. So it does have, the samadhi has the fragrance and his most beautiful godhood sanskaras from then and on. How lucky we are. I would like to ask Jay Simha. Jay Simha will be working with me tonight, and thank you so much. And so I prepared, he has prepared the PowerPoint. He helped me with the pictures I've taken recently. But before that, I have a little surprise for all of us, particularly for Jeff Wolverton. So let's go, Jay Simha.
I feel your presence.
EJ. Thank you so much. That
Wow.
was, yeah, that's one of my favorite. And I found this on YouTube. It says 2008, and Jeff sang it at, I believe, Baba Samadhi at the Arti time. So how it came together, I have no idea.
Yeah, beautiful to see all the mandali there and all
Yes.
the other places. Wow.
And Baba himself. So I thought, and you sang it so beautifully. Really, the healing power is in Baba's love, no doubt, no doubt on that. And mandalis are the best example of the living example of how they portray and reflected on that love. And despite of all the physical and difficulties, illness, and so forth that they had, still they were able to sustain. And I like to dedicate this song to all the people that are right now going through some challenges, physical, they have challenges with physical health and emotional, even spiritual and so forth. May this healing song gets to their heart and they come from their heart and heal themselves. So in Baba's love. Having said that, so we go back to the theme of tonight, and that's reflection on my most recent trip to India, Meherabad and Meherazad. Basically, I have been into India pilgrimage many times, probably 16, 17 times, particularly when Mandalis were there. They would tell us, come. And so, sure, we come. That was our opportunity. And then, of course, then things changed. COVID came, there were restrictions, there were travel bans and so forth. And that itself created more longing in me. And to go and visit Baba Samadhi and just be there with him, with Baba. So this trip came together out of nowhere, actually. Out of nowhere means I didn't do any planning for it, but I feel like Baba responded to this longing in my heart. And with my experience with India is that it's always his call, is always Baba's invitation and his call. And when he calls you, just the way I responded, I would like to suggest to all you, my friends, brothers, and sisters, that do not hesitate and please go and visit. And why do I say that? Tonight I will be talking about some of the changes that have taken place in Meherabad and Baba Samadhi, Meherazad, and other things, particularly the traveling. There are restrictions, there are a lot of cancellations on airplanes and so forth. So our life, global world, as we all know, is not the same, but it is as he wants it to be. So I think by now, going to Baba Samadhi and traveling, if we can, we must go. This is our opportunity. And I think already Trust is planning for Amartiti. There's a very big chance that they will celebrate the Amartiti this year. So it's good to go. My trip was 21 days, but I didn't arrive in Bombay at first, Maharashtra. I went through the Delhi because I was invited there to participate in one program by my Indian friends. So my trip was LAX to Toronto to New Delhi. And then after being there for 5 days, I took a train to Ahmednagar. And traveling with train is one of the most fun in India. I'm sure some of you are familiar. Just you enter, there's a bed, you sleep on the bed, you sleep the whole time. It's fun, you rest, and then before you know it, you're there. Although from where I went was about probably 12 hours of just a train time. But I enjoyed it and I went. I like to share that just so when I went and first before anything happens, we tell the rickshaw driver or driver, just go to the Samadhi. I want to go to the Samadhi first. Let me go to the Samadhi. Then I go to the MPC and do my registration. So we rushed. He took me to the Samadhi part and I was there. I went and I rushed to the Baba Samadhi, and the first thing that I got from Baba when I was there was, see, this is not, he talked to me internally, this is not what you see in pictures. This is real. I am here. And so he greeted me. And I totally got it. And that's why I'm here tonight, to let all of us know that, yes, I'm active on social media. I do the posting, newsletter, this and that, a lot of photos of Samadhi, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's like what Edith used to say to me, and one time I asked him, I'm sure to you too, he said, coming to Samadhi, it's like having a private interview with Baba. It's only you and Baba. And he's right, of course, Erich is right. And so I spend a lot of time there, but let's go through some photos and then I'll talk more. Let's take our technical voila, yeah. So now I will be talking about Meherabad a little bit, the photos I took on Meherabad and then Meherazad. It's a two set of photos that our technical person friend has put together for me in PowerPoint. So let's go, James. So this is a Meherabad, upper Meherabad, in very early morning when the sunrise comes. It's around the NPR, between NPR and Samadhi, Baba Samadhi. Let's go to next. So the beauty of this time that you may want to consider is that I had no idea, but it's a monsoon time, monsoon season. So monsoon season in India, it's from June, exactly from the time that they opened the Pilgrim Center NPR, June, mid-June to mid-September. For 4 months, beautiful rain comes and clean everything, clean air, green, everything is so green and beautiful. So this is one photo, it's morning. Next. Yeah, this is from another angle. As you see, it's the floors are all, these floors are all green. Yeah, this is from almost sideways of Samadhi, where the Mehra's tomb is, and then all other women mandali next to her. Yeah, this is the way that we go and park our car. So car are parked there, and then we walk to the Samadhi. I thought I'd show that. And now I know a few people are here with us tonight that they haven't had an opportunity to go to India pilgrimage yet, but I know they'll be going soon. And some of this you might have seen already, but I like to share it again, and they would see it too. The dogs, and this is a pathway to Baba Samadhi. As you see how green it is, and I like to share this about this green. This green, just take a look at this. I mean, this green, this particular color, I haven't seen anywhere. You know, it's just this very beautiful green, not dark, not you know, light. It's just Baba's love is, they're shining in Baba's love. That's all I can say. The trees, the floor, the grounds, the greens, and everything. Yeah. Next. Another view of the pathway. This is the middle of the day, so you can see some the trees. They come together, and some of the shades. Now, I like to say something about here. Now, there's been a lot of changes in terms of the road where you go toward the MPC, the lower Meherabad. They were doing all kind of a construction, so there was muddy, we couldn't go. There was excavator and all this truck, construction trucks were there. So you no longer, well, I'm sure people say, well, I've seen this before. I think it's been like this for past 3-4 years. I didn't see it. So we no longer have to go through the street to get into the MPC. There's a pathway that takes you there. And I thought that's a very good improvement, because due to that all rushed drivers and traffic, this is much safer. This is another view of the greens. Maybe I duplicated, I don't know, or it was similar. Now these are all that you know, agricultural area where Beef has put together so lovingly for years. God knows what these trees are. I wasn't able to see him to get a tour, but they're all greens, very beautiful. Next. Yeah, another view of the Samadhi again. Yeah, so here I like to share about some of the changes. So like what we see around ourselves after COVID, the Baba's land hasn't been an exception to this. So basically there are some changes around the Samadhi, and if you go to trust websites, some of them is written there. First of all, there's no more Samadhi cleaning. So there was time where we would just rush to the Samadhi early morning to take, you know, our turn and go there and clean every day. They would give us a different area to clean and or dust off, and sometimes you would get to clean the marble and stuff. None of that is happening anymore. So the way it goes is, first of all, as you see, all these gates are surrounded there. There's a guard 24 hours that's watching everything. 6 o'clock, a worker, like Emrat, for example, one of them, Emrat, with one single helper, they come at 6 o'clock, they do all the cleaning, they set up the Samadhi, and you can know, another thing that has changed is you no longer can offer a garland to Baba the way that we used to do, yeah, for his Samadhi is, so these two that you see, I was lucky, I bought it, these all roses from the rose man, and they put it, they put 2 garland on Baba's Samadhi, and I was able to offer one of them, but that's it. Like, just go ahead. Yes, this is, I took a photo of, well, I shouldn't have, but I did because I was eager to share my trip with others. So as you see, they used to put it in during the MRTT as well. So this gate is there. You can go in a samadhi and take a darshan, but just up to the threshold. You can no longer put your head or forehead on the marble, not anymore. Will you be able to just stand up and touch it very immediately? I saw people brought a prasad. Quickly they put it there, Baba blesses it, and they pick it up. And that is all during the time that they enter and they get out. Now, if you go during the day, there is more time, so you can probably spend about 3 minutes there or so. If there isn't anybody there to take darshan, and you no longer can sit in the samadhi. It used to be a way that we used to sit on both sides, between 4 to 6, and and do the meditation. So not anymore. Okay, this is unlike that. We cannot offer a garland of flower to Baba's samadhi, but we can offer it to him at Gadi, under the tin shed. So a friend of mine's birthday was coming up, and she asked me to offer a garland to Baba. I couldn't do it, but I bought this and took a photo to send it to her. So Alantis, I'm putting this for you. And let's go to next. Yes, this is the tin shed and Baba's Gadi that Baba sat there, as you see in the picture, and did a lot of work. You could sit here as long as you want. Meditate, silence though. I offer the garland here. I sing a happy birthday song on her behalf, and everything that's available. Another view of the Gadi. And this is another shot. So this is at nighttime. This is Baba's room, where Baba's crypt. When he dropped his body, an ambulance brought his body, Lotus body. They kept the crypt here. This is also open for darshan. You can go and sit there, meditate, be with Baba, no restriction. Just they open it in the morning and they close it at night. It has the same hours of samadhi. This is one view of the Baba's crypt, that his body was, and then due to the archival preservation, now it's all covered. You can offer the garland here. And as you see, this is Baba's photo sitting under this doorway of this Baba's room. Nothing has changed, it's still the same. And this is that 3 couplet of Hafiz that Baba asked Aloba to go and bring it from Mandali Hall just one day before he drops his body, and read it to me 2 times. He read it to Baba in Farsi, and Baba after that was, as we know, told the bow was there just 3 times. Remember this, I am not this body. Remember this, I am not this body. I am not this body. And this 3 couplet of Hafiz, which is translated so beautifully, I mean, by Meher Baba himself, you can't go wrong with that. And it's all about obedience. pure obedience from the master. This is the last message Baba has given us. And there is a saying by women Mandali, Mera and Mani and so forth, that yes, the last messages of Baba before he dropped his body was very symbolic when he said, go bring this and read it to me. And it's about obedience to the master. And another thing that I know is that when Baba wanted to say goodbye, of course he said it in Farsi. In Farsi we say Khuda Hafiz. Khuda is God. Hafiz is be with you. Khuda Hafiz. So just before he dropped his, drop his body, he also told Alaba to bring a book of Hafiz, Divan Hafiz. And then Baba said, with gesture, said, Khuda, point his fingers to himself. Now you can't see me because you're seeing this. But I said, Khuda, and then he pointed to that book, Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz. That's how he said his Khuda Hafiz. Let's go more. Yes, and this is another view. This is another photo. There's a reflection of sun around the Baba Samadhi. And pilgrims are sitting there. This is at nighttime. And you see all the gates are there. Another view on nighttime and beautiful moon. Again, very early in the morning before the sunrise. This is a side way, as we can look through this. And sometimes I would just stay there and I read my prayers from here because I want to look at inside the Samadhi when I do the prayers and Arti time.
This is the place where Baba gave the Tiffin lectures, or the...
Yeah, you're right. This is the window. Yeah. There's a nice photo of black and white of that actually Ward showed it to us. Yes, this is the window. Another photo of inside the Samadhi. That's me. Why do I show myself here? Just look at me. How happy I am. I mean, you don't find me like this here, but Baba's love, it's right there. He's with you. His presence is everlasting, so beautiful. It's heaven. And that's a nighttime, so yeah.
You've been drinking all day.
Yeah. His love, yeah.
Yeah.
Baba said that there will be a day when where this upper Meherabad will be like Jerusalem, where everybody will come. You hardly can get close to the Samadhi. And he even said they will be building a close, an airport where some of these private planes will come, just stop there. They do their, come and visit and pilgrimage, and then they just leave. So that is coming somehow. This is the sideways again. This is Mani's tomb and Gohar, Mehru, it's all here. Dr. Gohar, Mehru, Katie, Mansari. Yeah, these are all their tombs. Another view of the Samadhi. You know, these are all the symbol of all the religions that Baba had this be built very beautifully, meticulously, all symbolic. And right here, I don't know if I have taken a picture, but Baba has particularly have this written of mastery of servitude. So when you are facing this way toward the entrance, you look up, you see this mastery of servitude. I think it's very important that he had this made on top of his samadhis. Yeah, architecture. Go ahead. J. Baba. This is when it was closed. So I thought I'd show this when the door was closed. This is during the pandemic. This was closed, you know, samadhi was closed, but these pictures was sent to me. But now it's open. Go ahead. Is it finished? So this is, I thought I include this. I have many photos of NPR. My son told me, Mommy, take as many pictures as you can. Well, he has stayed in NPR. He loves it. From where the kids are playing, where I play chess, from here. So it's just one photo of all this tile, beautiful tile that we all in that project, collective project made and sent. And Ted Judson, but his work is they just put it there. Yeah. This is a courtyard of NPR. And this is very beautiful. One day another things that have changed. You know, there used to be a bus from NPR, take you to town, you know, every day almost, and then bring you back. No more. So you're in charge of your own transportation, which brought some restriction to me. I had to spend some time. So one time I was sitting right in the circle of Khushro quarter, where Bao's office was, Mani's office, all the Mandalis has worked there, which we call it now trust office. And I was sitting there waiting for this rickshaw, and I noticed that this Baba's photos is there, you know, that they just put it on this tree. Most wonderful for sitting there and meditating on Baba or repeating his name. And I was surprised to see that with all this rain, this never got wet. So how it happened, only Baba knows. So this is actually the last photos of Meherabad that I'm showing. I just like to read something, two little words. Erich Savella, which is passing time is coming on August 31st. He said, Baba said it was important for anyone aspiring to have a spiritual benefit to visit the tomb time and time again, to imbibe the impressions of impressionless one. That's Baba. Yeah. And also there's a book called Let's Go to Meherabad. So there's a quote from him. It says, this place, means Meherabad, is the most important. It is the best for those on the spiritual path. Despite visiting other places for work, it is best to return here. Yeah. And Baba said that actually, but Bao is mentioning this in this book. Yeah. Anyway, there are other quotes, but let's go to the photos of Meherazad. Yeah. So Meherazad days are still the same, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Bus is going, so trust is still providing this facility of bus going there. And so they pick us up at 9:30. It stops at MPC, pick up other people, and then we go to Meherabad. I visited Meherabad 3-4 times, but other time that I wanted to spend more time in Baba's Samadhi. And I tell you why. The changes in Meherabad. Let's go. This is the road to toward the Meherabad, and that Meherabad gate I took. So just let's go. This I have arranged it. So imagine yourself, you're driving to Meherabad, what you see first, and then I'll give you a tour. And I have actually arranged these photos as such that you see yourself in this location, that, like that. So let's go. So this is on the way to Meherabad. Most beautiful. I love this approach road, they call it, this approach road. This is the Meherabad and the gate that is there. Yeah, next. Another view of the gate. Okay, so on one of the days, not the first day, but on one of the days when we got off the bus, I went the other way to see behind the Meherabad and took some photo there. I didn't go straight to Blue Bus, Mandali Hall, and so forth. This is an archive building, a view of the archive building in Meherabad. It was all closed. You couldn't even get close. There was a guard there. I only took a photo. And this has been built by Meru's supervision here. And this most wonderful architect, I see him on Facebook, Hassan from Turkey, was leading this project. But I haven't been inside yet. Go ahead. And this is, also on sideway, most beautiful trees. I love nature and I love trees and I love green. And this was well, anyway, I felt like I'm in heaven. So that's another one. Let's go. And all of this I took with my iPhone, by the way. And it's not the most recent iPhone, it's iPhone 6. So this is a mango tree. There's several mango trees. Actually, Follow talked to me about it. There's a particular instruction that they follow to plant these mango trees. Now, mangoes were kind of ripe, so a couple times they gave a few of us as a prasad because it was ripe. We could take it with us. So we take like 3-4. I kept it and I brought it here. It stayed with me too, because I wanted to distribute as a prasad to the family, friends, and so forth. Okay, next. This part I really lacked so much. This, I don't know, maybe it's been there before, but this time Baba gave me a different set of eyes. Baba really was, I was like looking for his beauty in all of this. And I paid attention to these details. These are succulents. Do we say succulent? Yeah. This, I don't know who designed it, but it's so beautiful. They put it on these planters and like they made all with the stone and other things. So it's very pretty.
This was originally made by Katie.
Katie, see, you know better. Yes. So it's been there. Yeah. I just haven't seen it before. Yeah. And I'm sure the resident right now, who's Devana, Shelly, and Casey Cook, they're looking after that. I saw 3 of them. This is another view of, just look at this. Look at all these beautiful flowers. And it's just the colors. And, yeah. More? So this, you just keep on walking. See yourself, visualize walking. And this is another view of this. Baba is, when they well, we all know the story of why even Baba moved to Meherabad, because in 1945 Meherabad got really crowded for him. There was a lot of visitors. So he moved to Meherabad, and then later on, he helped Mera to build this garden, because he knew when he leaves, Mera will just, pang of separation and all the sadness she was experiencing of Baba leaving his body. He wanted her to be engaged in the nature and all this beauty, which she looked at after it so beautifully. More. Another view of this. Look at these greens again. So beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah. And just, I like this touch. Just to see they have they decorated this fantasy and more. No, go ahead. No, it's all right. Go. And just for viewing. More. More is the beauty of God there. More and more. Another. Uh-huh. So this is new. Now that this was on a sideway, this was another day. So this one is another day. So as you enter through the gate from the bus stop in front of the old dispensary, right? And stop. So you come out. Now on the left side, they have parked this Baba's car that he traveled with it many times. And for a while, we saw Mandalis were coming to Samadhi on a special occasion with this car. Or maybe there was another one, but of some Mandali, women Mandali, men Mandali in this. And now they parked it there for our view. Next. Yeah, this is the original photo of what the car looked like, and Baba and Erech. That picture is also there. I took a photo of this picture.
It's a DeSoto.
Yeah. DeSoto is the name of the car?
Yeah.
Okay, so DeSoto. Thank you, Jeff. I learned something from you again today. So let's go to the next one. Now I want to talk about changes. So we see Baba's photo, Baba's car. We just walk to the Mandali Hall. Now, the door that when you enter, the front door is no longer available. You can't enter it there. There's a lady standing there. So you have to go around and take your shoes off and come from the garage door, the big door. They have removed all the rugs, no place to sit. You can't even sit there. You just have to come here, and they put this rope here so that you know your boundaries and limitation. So there is a, just next to this rope, there is a pillow with some flowers on it. Bow down, take your darshan with Baba and so forth, and then you go. But it's still, I'm so grateful for this to be here. So that's another thing that has changed in Meherabad. Next. Yeah, this is Blue Bus. Blue Bus is still the same. Nothing has changed. But you can go in there. You can go inside the Blue Bus and look at things. You just have to view it from outside. Yeah. Next. Yeah, this is another one that I took it another day. So what they do is they put Baba's picture with a little stool and, decorated flowers and so forth right in front of the door. So, take a look at it, and take darshan or enjoy your time with Baba, but do not enter. So that's the Blue Bus. Next. Erich's room is still the same. Nothing has changed. You cannot enter. As you see, there is something here, a little bench. that is covering your entrance to his room. What I like to mention, many of us, some people may know, but Erich particularly told me that this is a Manonage cabin. Is it two cabins together, Jeff, or just one?
It was the two cabins,
Yeah.
asbestos cabins from up on the hill. One the
Yeah.
lower cabin and the upper one where Bob was
Yes.
staying. They were brought down and combined.
Yeah,
Right.
there is two of them brought it down and combined, correct. And I remember what Erich was telling me when I was just so how is it, Erich? You know, you have Baba's cabin. He says, oh, don't ask me, he would say. It gets so hot, burning during the hot summertime, and it gets so cold during the winter time. Of course, there is no insulation in that, but he was still happy to be there. So beautiful and so neat. All of those little things are hanging in there for a reason. And, you know, that's just a view of his bed. Next. So this, the way I did it is like, you visit the Mandali Hall, nice, Erich's room, blue bus. This is something new again. For a while, there was a talk about it, and finally, with the help of Falu from Rose Mystery, this got done. And so this is a Bao's room. When Baba left his body, Bao was with him as night watchman, and for Bao was Baba's John, and then the last days he was with Baba during all those spasms and so forth. So Baba already told him to write my biography. So he was sitting, as this is paraphrasing what he shared with us, for sometimes 16 hours a day. He was sitting in his room and this room and write. And of course, first it was published as Meherabad, and then later on was translated in versions that we still see now. So it's very beautiful. This is Bao's room. But again, you can't enter. As you see this, this is there, but Baba's photo, that the chair prevents you from going in. Next. Okay, so this is another view of Meherazad in monsoon time. You see the misty weather, it's just so beautiful, all these planters, and just wanted to show all this from Meherazad. Go again. Next. This is another design I've never seen before. Yeah, I must say, I asked myself, why did I pay attention to these details in Meherazad after going many years? You know why? This is a good effect of pandemic. Ever since COVID and pandemic came, slowed me down. And I've changed the consciousness. Bob always, make it change it. So now I pay more attention to details. I take my time. I'm not in rush order. Finally, I notice all these beauties. I hope you like them. Next. Another view of, again, greens. Next. Again, this is on the sideway. On the side of the actually Meherazad porch. This is what I wanted to show. You see, you can no longer go through the Meherazad porch. You can't. It's all closed. So you go there, they put this as a Baba's photo. You can't get in there. You can't get into the Mani Mehra's room, Dr. Gohardani room, none of that. Next. This is another view. Yeah, so you see this stool still is there. It's preventing you from going in. So you just look at them. Next. Okay, this I wanted to show my photo here. Why? This is Baba's room. You no longer can get into the Baba's room. Baba's room is no longer available for us to go there, sit, bow down, take darshan. I had the best time in this room with Baba. No, but still, he is there. He is there in his room, even though that we stand by the window. We still feel his presence and receive his love. So I did on that day. Next. Oh, by the way, there is two people are watching around Baba's house to make sure nobody is trespassing and nobody is going in. Next. This I took a photo from the window, this side window, that side window where Meherab's, the Omar tree was. So still the same thing, but we can go in. The photo is taken from the side window where I was standing. Next. So you can still bow down to Baba, but through this window. You can't do it from front door or anything like that, but you can here. And believe me, still the same effect, everything, Baba is available. Next. This is a Mera and Mani's room. Again, you can't go there because it's closed. You can't enter the building. This is again from the side windows. Where the same side windows are, Baba's room is, so it's on that side. Well, the big news I want to show you. Just go ahead, please. Next. I'm all getting it. Okay. This is the Omar tree. And Omar tree died. Okay. They did many work to preserve it and save it. I remember when I went several times and that all this water and treatment was surrounding it. They brought a specialist and so forth. Most things that Shelly told me is a lot of termite got in there. And termite actually ate up all the roots and everything. So they had to cut it. But it's still the flowers and everything is there. For people who don't know what the significance of this tree, Umar tree, is when Meher Baba left his body, it was so hard and devastating for Mehera as his counter partner. He couldn't, it was hard. I mean, photos says 1,000 words. It was very hard. So this tree was outside. I mean, the photo is here, but I didn't take a good picture. And, and so one day Baba's face appeared very nicely on this tree. I didn't include it, but we've seen it. Many of us have seen it, but it's no longer there. And the interesting part is the remarks of the concrete in Mehera's room is deteriorated, where she was standing and looking at the window waiting for Baba to come. So that was the level of her devotion, and Baba couldn't just be silent about it, so appeared on this tree and put his most beautiful face and remark there to make her happy. And of course, we benefited from it too. We saw it. But this didn't end this tree. Go to the next, please. Now it's the rest of this tree is there as a display. Follow is still the Meherazad manager. Did such a great job of displaying there. And there's a plexiglass covering it with these photos of Mera would go and look at it and touch it. And this is, and there's a saying next to it that I took the photo. Go ahead, please. Next one. So I read about this. Within months after beloved Baba dropped his physical form, dearest Mera discovered that Baba's image had suddenly appeared on the umber tree. I'm sorry, I correct myself, not umar, umber tree, facing her bedroom window, assuring her of his unending love and eternal presence, offering her much needed solace. The image was visible for several decades, but with time the tree finally died, and the bark shed where his face had appeared preserved. Here is the tree trunk that bore the beautiful likeness of the face of our Lord. Though the image is no longer visible in the tree trunk, it is a testament to Meher Baba's everlasting divine love for his beloved Mera. Yeah. I don't know how much more is left. This is a very interesting photo I took from Mandalay Hall. These are actually the favorite Baba Sikh that they came and visited Baba, and there's a picture of Baba with them. 5 of them took a photo, and as we see, the name are there. I can't pronounce it well, but you know, Baba reached out to anybody and everybody, including this Sikh leaders. And this is another photo of me that I was very happy, and Jai Mehr Baba.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you. Beautiful. Wow, but what I know anyone who'd spent all those years going to Meherazad and Meherabad, it's you know there's some grief in. I mean, we used to just go freely in and out of the tomb and to all these places. Spent hundreds of hours in different places, but yeah.
Oh, one more thing,
One
Jeff,
thing,
I forgot to share. One more thing, this is important. So every time that I want to say goodbye to Baba at his samadhi, I cry. I sob and I cry, and I don't want to leave. It's the hardest thing for me. And but sometimes I tell Baba, well, oh, Baba, I leave half of my heart here, and then I'll come back soon to take it back, you know, like that. But this time, as I bow down to him to say goodbye, the inner message to me was, take me with you. Take me with you. So I brought Baba back with me, and he's with me ever since.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing Erich used to say is find his tomb in your own heart.
Yeah.
No. And it is there also, even though and our access today is quite different from what it was. Now, it's getting a little bit late, but can you tell us a little bit of your story of coming to Baba? But just remember the people on the East Coast, some of them have to go to, not all these people are retired. They have to go to work tomorrow. But, you know, any way you could share.
I could share a little, but I'm also mindful of people who are in East Coast, because for us being in West Coast is not that late, but might be late. So I'll start, but maybe I couldn't finish. So because my story of coming Baba has a lot of background, Jeff. What things led up to another thing and another thing, another thing, and you know, like that. So I don't know.
But one of the nicest things is the very moments that Baba entered your life. But, you know, you without necessarily going into all of the ups and downs of your life prior to Baba.
Sure.
But yeah.
Quickly say that I am the child of revolution. There was a revolution in Iran in 1979, and I always wanted to continue my education and just whatever, you know, just go and learn more and more. Anyway, I was lucky enough that part of my family, brothers and sister here in Washington, D.C. So I came to USA in 1979 and lived in D.C. with them, and they're still there until 1993 that I moved to first Northern California. I was in a tech major, IT field, and then back to Los Angeles. Uh, Very quickly, that's where my real soul searching started because I did not know anybody whatsoever, anybody in Los Angeles, no friend, no family, and all of my friends and family, they were in DC because I lived there in 13 uh, years. One thing I like to share is when I broadcast the news to my family that I'm leaving you guys, I'm leaving and I'm going to California to live there, they they didn't want me to go. And no, come on, even my brother was, oh, I give you half of this business. But this experience I had, and that was every time they were trying to pulling me in, this whole time that I was packing and trying, there was a hand behind my neck that pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I had pain in my neck. I don't know whose hand was it and where did it come from. And that the message was go, 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 don't stop. And now I know what the reason is because my dependency and comfort zone to my family was a lot. It really was. So, I think it was meant for me to come here, go through all the hardship, loneliness, depression, sadness that I went through to be able to get ready just to meet Baba. And when I started my soul searching, well, I got and first I went to alcohol. I was drinking alcohol. That didn't work. I went to psychologists and psychiatrists. That didn't work. And it was a very, very tough time. And I was all by myself. And I'd had a very demanding job from the big companies and so forth. Anyway, corporate world. So I started soul searching and I went to whatever organization, a spiritual organization, or whatever that you can think of. I went, including the Zoroastrian temples, including the Sufi house, including anything. But every time I would go, I knew this was not it. This is my heart was still empty, but not full, till through one of my friends, I got into a class that was offered mysticism on Hafiz and Rumi for 6 years. And boy, that really helped me. That was my rescue. That we would just go every Friday night and read the poetry of Hafiz and Rumi, and I would just go to a different world and so intoxicated and so forth. And now I know why. And I immediately got attracted to Hafiz. Well, we were reading it in Farsi and then discussing it and so forth. And, 2 times they even appeared to me in inner vision, both Rumi and Hafiz, while I was in that class. So it got to the point where I heard of Baba through my hairdresser. I have a very interesting karma with my hairdressers. My first hairdresser, introduced me to the Hafiz and Rumi class, which I benefited a lot. My second one introduced me to Baba. So one time, out of 2 years of not seeing her, I went to her, and it's like somebody told you got to go see her. You got to go see her. I drove about 1.5 hours from Orange County, where I used to live, to this place in Los Angeles, go see her to get my hair done or whatnot. And at that time, out of nowhere, she started talking to me about the Meher Baba. And listen to this, how she started it. She said, Mahu. Now, I must say that she's not the kind of person who will talk like this. I don't know where this word. Did you know that every 700 to 1400 years, God descends on earth and come as a human form to just help us out and rescue us and give us the spiritual freedom and all that and solve us and help us out, solve our problem? And I said, no, not really. And she said, yeah, his name is Meher Baba, and she had a necklace of Baba's photo. And so said, well, here who he is. His name is Meher Baba. And by the way, they do have meetings, Persian God Speaks meeting in Little Santa Monica. It was the old center. You must come. And then I said, sure, I'll come. Anyway, that's where this started. I went there to the old center in Santa Monica. And the first person that I met was Adele Wolkin. And of course, the Farsi community, the Ajang family, and others that they were active at that time. Katiha Khanum was there, and she's no longer with us, and so forth. But I like to say that, how Baba works. Coming from Muslim background, I'm born Muslim. Accepting God as human form is the total no-no. It's the taboo. You can't, God, that's why when he came as Muhammad said, I'm Rasul, Ferestade, I have come from God, I'm not God. But listen how Baba worked. When I was reading Hafiz during those mysticism period, we actually learned about all this plane of consciousness and a spiritual path and how to be an aspirant, what to do and what not. And then all of a sudden, when I met him, the first book that I got attracted to, What God Speaks. And guess what? Chapter 6, which he covers the spiritual plane, and he gets help from Hafiz's poetry and ghazal, and explaining all this plane of consciousness through where Hafiz was at the time, first plane, second plane. And I have read all of this during those 6 years of being in the mysticism class. So that's how he prepared me at that time. So quickly, in 1 month, he was my life. I knew he was it. I knew this is the one that I've been questing for, searching for years and years and years, that I got depression, I got this, I got that, and that was it. So I had no doubt about him. I found him and I knew he was my savior. So that didn't finish, because one day, this is about probably that I was driving from the center. I was driving from the center. I was all by myself. I started talking to him. I said, although you have said that I'm closing to you, that your own breath, but when I want to really realize you and look at you, and I'll always look at the sky, why do I do that? I still want to see you and feel you. And guess what? Before you know it, Baba was sitting next to me in the car on the passenger side, just like that, with his white sadra. And that was too much to take. I got scared a little bit. I just wasn't ready for this. So I parked the car, and and I still remember the place, 7th and Figueroa in downtown LA. And so, he compassionately showed himself to me and so forth. So, maybe at that time, for a while, I was a little bit upset, thinking, why do you put me on hold, Baba, for all these years? I mean, I was lonely here in LA. I didn't have anybody I wanted, and who knows? I didn't get my answer. One more thing I like to share is that although I have been Muslim, but in age 9, I was a true Muslim. I mean, I was doing the whole 9 yards of fasting 30 days in Ramadan and doing 5 days of namaz and salat and so forth. And I was so tiny like this. One time in that I was fasting during Ramadan, this was my vision. Um, at the age of 9, he appeared with his white sadra uh, in my inner eyes, and I felt unconscious. Um, and ever since then, all my religious belief and ideas and all that Muslimhood went completely wiped away. It was vanished with this experience that I had at the age of 9. Anyway, the rest is, that everything was prepared for me. Adele Wolkin was there, the footprint of Filis Frederick was there, and so forth. He became everything to. Oh, before when I came, 6 months after I came, I was in India, and that was during Mani's passing and internation and cremation, all that stuff. I was there for 2 months, so I happened to be there in 1996. And then ever since then, I went every year. One thing also happened is at one point, Dr. Gohar asked me to move to India. I remember it was my third trip. And I told her, Dr. Gohar, what can I do here for you? I'm an engineer. I can't do anything. She said, no, come. We need you. We need you. But, I must make this confession. Um, my attachment to the material world and my career was so much that I rejected that opportunity. But maybe Baba had other plans for me, which he did. My life became a complete service. Even when I got married, even when I had my son, I was working close to 50 hours for the center and so forth. That was my opportunity. And that's it when, I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mahu, for everything, for your story and all of the that you took us to Meherabad and Meherazad. And yeah, wonderful. And everybody, too bad you can't see all the comments in the chat because people truly loved what you shared.
Thank you.
Now, I wonder if we've got a final, before we, a final reading from somebody. Um, let's see. I don't see Rainey there. Bob Yeager, have you got a poem there that you can pull out of your pulling the thread? I was going to say Babu's in the passenger seat. Now over the next stretch is for him to get in the driver's seat, and you get in the back.
He is on driver's seat. He is.
Oh, good, good. That was.
Yes, yes. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you also something very funny. So when I get to the India, Erich knowing everything, he was with his point of consciousness, immediately comes in, come on, Mahu, come on, who are you? And he was actually calling me my beloved because the meaning of my name, my real name is Mahbube, not Mahu. Mahbube means the beloved. So, how Mandalis were treating us? Each one of them treating us like we're very special, with this, with that, but we weren't really. But they were making us feel so special. So he asked me to tell my story in Mandali Hall. Immediately, I flew to him and I sat on that chair next to Erich and I started talking. I mentioned, I went through the narrative of my story of how I came to Baba, how he appeared to me, and so forth. And you know what Eric said with this humor? Said, see how Baba is so nice to some people, but not to us necessarily. Let's just look at that. Baba is only nice to some people. And then I went back and I told you, Eric, are you sure? Like that. So I thought I'd share that too.
Okay, Bob, then we'll have a few moments of silence, and if Nasreen is here, she'll,
Yeah,
she'll,
so
yeah,
you wanted pulling at a thread, is that the one you
Yeah.
mentioned? Okay, pulling at a thread.
this is about self-effacement. This is the method right here.
I noticed the thread on the button of the shirt and pulled. And when the button fell off, there was a moment's irritation until the thought occurred to me, the possibility that this unraveling could simply continue up the sleeve, across the shoulders, down the torso and the other arm all at once. And then by some odd attraction unknown to science, progress from the shirt tail to the shorts and trousers and socks. And then, inexplicably jumping like lightning from earth to sky, the mystery would continue from the tips of the toes all the way up the body till nothing remained to my wife's astonished gaze but a slappy happy Cheshire grin. Then, side to side, that too would go, not fading cat-like, but a clean unwinding. And then another lightning leap to mind, and all the dark and hidden residue floating up and up like buried stuff from deep swamp muck stirred by wind coming to light and lining up bit by bit like the loopy threads on a dog food sack. And if you can find just the right place to start, they unzip thread by binding thread quickly and easily, just like that, until nothing is left but you, beloved. Jai Meher Baba.
Hey, Baba. Okay, let's have a few moments of silence. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, I would like to thank Jai Simha for helping me with open heart. Without him, this presentation wouldn't be possible. And I'd like to thank all of you to bear along and listen to all my hiccups and maybe shortcomings and this and that. But this was from my heart. And I want to wish for all of you, every one of you, a pilgrimage and a trip to Meherabad and Meherazad soon. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
pleasure.
I don't see Nasreen here, so we're just going to have to.
Thursday said she'd read a Hafiz ghazal.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, Jeff, you're getting ready to close, so I don't want to delay.
Yeah.
Well,
What-
what do you think? You want to hear something from one of Hafiz's ghazals? You up for it? Okay.
Yes.
So let's pick somebody. Let's pick Cynthia to pick a number between 1 and 211, is it?
Jeff, I have number 216 picked out for tonight.
Okay, good. Perfect.
And it's kind of, a Baba thing. He knows what he's doing here. And Elizabeth asked me to read a couple lines in Farsi, so I'll do that. شراب بیغش و ساقی خوش دو دام رهند که زیرکان جهان از کمندشان نرهند. من ارچه عاشقم و رند و مست و نام سیاه، هزار شکر که یاران شهر بیگنهند. مبین حقیر گدایان عشق را که این قوم شهان بی کمر و خسروان بی کلهند. Anyway, enough of the Farsi. There's only one other one that knows what I'm talking, Mahoo John. Here's the translation. A pure wine and a beautiful sake are two traps on the path that even the cleverest people in the world cannot escape from. Although I am a lover, a rogue, a drunkard, and sinful, thank God the city friends are without fault. Hafiz is being very facetious here. Do not belittle the beggars of love, because the folks in this clan are the kings without belts and crowns. To cause harm is not the custom of dervishes and aspirants. Bring wine, because these saliks are not men of the path. Do not do anything to break apart the constellation of your lovers. Your servants would flee, and your created beings would disperse. I am the slave of the efforts of the sincere wine drinkers, not the group that wears dark clothes and has dark hearts. Do not step into the ruined neighborhoods near the tavern. Do not step into the ruined neighborhoods unless you are respectful. The residents there are the confidants of the king. The threshold of love is high. Make an effort, Hafez. Lovers do not allow the idol into their circle.
Read that last couplet again.
The threshold of love is high, high. Make an effort, Hafez. Lovers do not allow the idol into their circle. Jai Baba.
Thank you. What is that? What do you think that lovers do not let the idol into their circle?
Those who will not make an effort toward achieving the heart of God, or to reach the threshold of his abode. Those who expect things to just be handed to them on a silver platter.
I think Jeff was thinking whether it was IDLE or IDOL.
IDLE.
I suppose both would apply.
IDLE.
IDLE.
Oh, I was
thought
thinking
IDOL, yeah.
IDL. So
Idleness.
go back to that again. I just goofed up.
Well, I wanted to say effortless, but then that wasn't right, because in Farsi, it's the ones that don't make an effort are effortless. But that's a different meaning in English, so I went with the word idle. The
Yeah.
threshold of love is high. By the way, Baba quoted this particular couplet. The threshold of love is high. Make an effort, Hafez. Lovers do not allow the idol into their circle.
Now I get it.
I got
Well,
it. Perfect.
Yeah, I get it too now. Yeah.
Although I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of interesting because if you think about IDOL and how
Right.
Baba said, don't let other, fakeries come into you.
Don't worship false idols.
Yeah.
That's Judaism, yeah.
Get beyond idols to the beloved himself, but still, idols. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
IDLE.
you got to be really careful when you interpret things, because, yeah, you got to be really impeccable with
You
your
might get
words.
on the
I
wrong
read
road.
that somewhere about being impeccable. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
So many different
It's
languages.
a beautifully hard journey. Yes, I love it.
Oh, Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you. That was great.
let's have
By
a-
the way, thank you for your Farsi. Love
Yeah.
Yeah,
hearing
it's
it.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me want to learn the language now.
It kind of does.
We should
Yeah.
start a Farsi class, you know.
Farsi classes starting soon. Baba Zoom 101.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's have a blast silence and then we'll go. Jai Baba, everyone. Jai Baba to Zora, too.
Jai Baba,
Thank
Jeff.
you all around. That was very nice. We'll see what there is next week. I think we're going to have like a topic that will require all of you to do a little thinking.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
I got to see.
I think the brain might be broken.
Yeah. And if it isn't entirely broken, it will be next week.
Thanks. I like when things come to completion.
Yeah.
Empty your skulls of their brains, wash them out clean, and have them ready as wine bowls.
Yes.
I want to thank everybody. This was so incredible tonight. But I want to say I have trouble if I want to chat and thank someone. It always goes under someone else's name as if I'm responding to them.
So
But
what
I
do you do? You know how to fix that?
No.
You need to put your mouse right where those names
Oh,
are.
I'm on my phone though. I'm on my phone.
I think you could still do it. There's a drop-down menu and you can move it to everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
click on everyone.
I'll try. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Mahoo, sharing all of this. And yeah, you all of you disappear soon into the ether.
Happy birthday, Dinku. It's still your birthday here.
Oh, it's still Dinku's birthday. Okay.
Not here in Mumbai, but thank
Birthday
you.
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear
Dinku.
Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Yeah. And hopefully they're not that out of tune.
Uh-huh.
We were all in tune.
Much love.
Baba, Jai
You
Baba.
guys. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Can I ask for just a little tiny little prayer for my kitty who's in transition to Baba?
Oh,
His name is Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely grieving my son's who left.
Maybe he can jimmy his way into heaven.
That's right.
A little guitar joke.
Jimi Hendrix. Yeah.
I told him to go get a new body, so he listened. Wow.
Oh,
So
Like Hendrix,
Maru has to leave first, otherwise we'll just stay on.
he could be a human.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you for singing for us, Jeff. Thank you. Healing power. Gee,
He's
thank
only
you.
saying that so he can talk about you, Mahu.